again for another day in Bronie's World, Super Saturday, with my superhero and dear friend, Dr. Joel Wallach, the world's most famous naturopathic doctor, veterinarian, and researcher into all those issues that for decades he's been talking to us about, the benefits of collagen, why we should get off the bad foods, and lots of other things. The author of Dead Doctors Don't Lie as well, and many other publications. Well, today here in Australia, we are in spring. At the beginning of, God, did you say rehab? We're in spring here in Australia. It's autumn in the US, I know. And so I'm doing a theme this month of cleaning up your body or cleaning up your health. And who better to talk about things and the benefits of cleaning up your health and your body? Because, guys, let's face it, too many of us eat comfort foods and all that sort of stuff during winter, put on a little extra weight, but all that causes a few issues with our bodies. And I've had a lot of people actually reach out to me with RSV issues, so respiratory viruses and stuff. So, Doc, with no further ado, what do you feel are good things, or why, first of all, why should we clean out our systems and spring clean the body to prevent all sorts of illnesses?
Okay, Bronie, it's one of those things where people eat differently during the wintertime because they have all this food that's been dried and stored and baked and so forth and preserved one way or another to feed them through the wintertime, because you can't go out in the garden and pick a crop during the wintertime. And so when the spring suddenly they all want all these fresh fruits and vegetables and things that they didn't have for 3 months during the wintertime. So that's their version of spring cleaning, okay? Now you have to appreciate that we as an individual need 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 omega-3 fatty acids every day if we're going to live our maximum lifespan, which is well over 120 for humans, okay? And most humans don't live that long because they don't do everything right, okay? They take the shortcuts and so forth and eat bad foods and eat a lot of sugar. And so they lose probably 50 to 75% of the lifespan they could have. Also, babies are born with birth defects. Why are babies born with birth defects? They'll have a cleft palate. They'll have spina bifida. They'll have a spine that didn't close during pregnancy. They'll be born with one eye in the middle of their forehead, a cycloptic baby instead of two eyes. Okay, they'll have heart defects. They have liver problems. They have kidney. They may only have one kidney. They may be born with no kidneys. Okay, and so it's one of those things where, as a pathologist, we're working my way through college, doing a lot of pathology stuff, and I learned what was causing cystic fibrosis, one of the most terrible birth defects ever, and everybody knew it was a terrible gene that was going around, genetic stuff. No, I found out the cause, prevention, and cure of cystic fibrosis. I found the cause, prevention, and cure of muscular dystrophy, which they thought was a terrible genetic disease. I found the cause of sudden death syndrome, SIDS, okay, which is caused, they thought the mothers were laying on the babies and they're just dying of mineral deficiencies and having heart attacks when they're, okay. And now I've also discovered the cause, prevention, and cure of the metabolic syndrome. Now, do you guys talk about the metabolic syndrome there in Australia?
Not as much as we should.
Yeah, not as much as you should. Probably 1/3 of the adult population in Australia, because this is what is in the United States. 1/3 of our adult population has the metabolic syndrome, which is abdominal obesity. Okay, abdominal obesity.
That's big here.
Okay, diabetes type 2 and high blood pressure. Those three things. When you have those three things, you have the metabolic syndrome. And the book, Metabolic Syndrome, okay, there's the chapters in there that go into all the various symptoms and syndromes and everything you get with the metabolic syndrome. But 1/3 of the American adult population has this. I'm assuming it's going to be very similar or worse
Oh,
You
yes.
know, yeah. Okay. And then we have the book, It's All in Your Head. Did you ever look at that book, It's All in Your Head?
Yes, I've got it. I got it right here.
Okay, good. It goes into all the diseases of the brain, okay, in the skull. And this is page number 6 in the book, It's All in Your Head. And they don't
Yeah.
teach this in medical school. I'm going to repeat that. This is not taught in medical school or pharmacy school. I had to figure this out as a pathology student. I'm the one who figured it out. A normal skull, when you take the top of the skull off and look down on the brain, you'll see the skull is only a quarter of an inch thick. The skull that has osteoporosis, when you take the top of the skull off, you're looking down the brain, the skull is 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. Now, that's not with normal bone, that's with connective tissue and scar tissue, which is taking the place of the skull. Now, what happens is there's a chapter in this book for every one of the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. And when you have osteoporosis of the skull, the tubes, the tunnels, which the cranial nerves are coming through and the spinal cord coming through out of the back of the skull, is like only 2 to 5% of the normal size because of all this extra connective tissue is squeezing all those tunnels, okay, and causing the nerves to be squeezed, and you get all these diseases, okay? This is, you see all the chapters,
Yeah.
and okay, so forth. And so this is one of those things where the same thing is true of the metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome, and I blame the metabolic syndrome on the doctors. Okay, this is very important. Only dead doctors don't lie. They want you to give up a lot of stuff. They want you to take their medicine, and they will relieve symptoms very quickly. And people, oh, I just love my doctor. I had this for 3 years. He got rid of my symptoms in 3 hours. Well, watch it, because you'll be dead in two days to 2 weeks to 2 months, because he's just getting rid of your symptoms. He's not getting rid of the disease. So this is a very important book, because it goes into all the various diseases that the doctors have messed up on, getting rid of the symptoms, and the disease still killed the patient, within a couple of months or a year or whatever, because they didn't get rid of the disease. They just got rid of some of the symptoms, which the patients were just overjoyed. Well, I had this for 20 years and he got rid of it in 3 weeks. Okay, but did he get rid of the disease? No, he just got rid of the symptoms. That's very, very important stuff. And then we have, do you have the flip charts there in Australia?
We do, but I don't have one right here.
What? If you don't have, oh, you have them, but you don't have one right there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, flip charts, I think it's like 77 pages. It goes into the major diseases that people have that keep them from living to be 120, 140, 150. And the people who live the longest right now, okay, this is well documented. The people who live the longest right now are from Pakistan. You've heard of the country of Pakistan, right? Well,
Yeah.
Pakistanis, the people in Pakistan, their average life expectancy is 120. They live in the land flowing with milk and honey, which is in the Old Bible, the Old Testament. 20 years, 120 years. Now, the Old Testament, everybody knew about it. They didn't know why back then, 2,000 years ago. Well, it's because these people who lived to be 120 lived underneath the mountains and the certain mountains, and the mountains were grinding up the rocks up at the top of the mountains, and the rock dust was white. The white rock dust would go into the creeks going down the side of the mountain, and it made it look like milk. And so they're getting these minerals because they're using it as their drinking water. They were using it in their irrigation water. They're using it as supplements, to make their food taste good. They're getting all these minerals from the ground up rocks at the top of the mountains, and that's why they live so long. That's why they didn't have all these diseases, which are caused by mineral deficiencies. Okay, and so this is one of those things where the Huns of people have these little, what should I say, little tribes, maybe 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, and they live in the Himalayan mountains at the base of the mountains there in Pakistan. And they're the longest lived people on earth right now. They live to be an average of 120. Many live to be 125, 150, and so on, because they're getting all those minerals coming down from the mountains. Okay.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
It is very interesting.
Okay, so that's all in the metabolic syndrome, this book, 1 out of 3 adults in modern societies, including Australia, um, it's 1 out of 3 adults have the metabolic syndrome. And again, it's abdominal obesity, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure, and it will kill you early. You'll be miserable. There's about 50 different diseases you're going to get that won't kill you, but they make you miserable. They go along with the metabolic syndrome. Okay. And then you've heard of Parkinson's disease. In America,
Yes.
the rate of Parkinson's disease has gone up 50% in the last couple of months. It's gone up 50%. It was running at, let's see, for every year, okay, we had 600 new cases of Parkinson's disease in America for over 100 years. 600 new cases. Is that right? No, 60,000. 60,000 new cases every year of Parkinson's disease in America for over 100 years. Over the last 6 months, it's gone up to 90,000 new cases, went up 50%, because the doctors are giving everybody pills and shots to get rid of their cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is your best friend, not fried cholesterol, but cholesterol itself, found in eggs and meat and that kind of stuff, is your best friend, because your sex hormones for both males and females are 95% cholesterol.
Yeah.
95% cholesterol is required by your sex hormones for both men and women. And then also 85% of your white matter of your brain and your spinal cord, the myelin, the white matter of the brain and spinal cord, is cholesterol. So when you get rid of your cholesterol, because they're giving you all this medicine to get rid of your cholesterol, this is why so many people are losing their memories. They're going crazy, and they're having all these things like Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease. They have multiple sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. They have Huntington's chorea, frontotemporal dementia, Bell's palsy, cervical spondylosis, optic neuritis. Okay, and there's like 40 more different diseases. Okay, and they're all, the white matter is going away the brains because they don't have enough cholesterol to make more white matter. All because doctors are getting rid of your cholesterol.
And you know what's crazy here, Doc? This our government's so stupid. It really is. They've in a couple of states, they've actually going around killing our chickens.
They're doing what? They're
killing the chickens.
Why are they killing the chickens?
Well, they're because the scaremongers are out again and trying to say there's bird flu and they're blaming the chickens.
Well, they're blaming the chickens because of the cholesterol in the eggs.
Oh, I don't know. But anyway, you cannot get eggs in the supermarkets at the moment. There's not one single egg to be found. Luckily, we have chickens, and we went to visit our daughter on Wednesday, and the night before she said, she wanted to make us a nice zucchini slice, and she said, "Well, scrap that. There's no eggs in the shops." And I said, "Would you like me to bring you some?" So I took her down some of our eggs, and we went shopping the other day, and same thing. Not a yesterday, and there was no eggs in the supermarket at all. Not that we've got chickens, so we don't need to buy them, but it was interesting. So can you imagine what's going to happen? It's trying to get people to eat enough eggs now is hard enough, but can you imagine how more of these issues we're going to have with the chicken farmers not being able to give us chickens?
Okay, well, you need to get some of these books. If you buy 10 of them, you get a nice big discount. If you buy cases, you get a big discount. We have people from all over the world are buying cases of the books, The Metabolic Syndrome. They're buying cases of the books, It's All in Your Head. They're buying cases of the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. And this is what's going to have to take place, because doctors have a power. Well, my doctor says, I'm sure they say that in Australia too. My doctor said, well, your doctor's wrong. Your doctor should have his license taken away because he's killing people. She's killing people, whether it's a male or female. They're killing people and they're telling you what to give up, which is essential for a healthy life and be able to make healthy babies. So when you're getting rid of the cholesterol and you're having babies born, and when they can start talking, they're a couple of years old, and they're an obvious girl. Okay, they have all the equipment of a girl, all the anatomy of a girl. They say, I'm a boy. You have that
Mm.
stuff going on there now?
Oh yeah, have for a long time.
And then also the boys do the same thing. Well, I'm a boy. Or no, I'm a girl. No, you have all the equipment of a boy. What do you mean you're a girl? That's because early in pregnancy, the mother didn't have the nutrition to make the equipment in the babies to make their proper hormones to go along with their physical equipment.
Mm.
So it's the doctor's fault. It's the OBGYN's fault and the fault of the pediatricians for not making sure that these women, the women say, well, yeah, I'm just not interested in having babies. Are you married? Yes. Well, just in case, you should be taking all this stuff here. And so we want you to take our Xerafem for girls. That's XERA-Fem for girls. Okay, take 2 of those twice a day, and that'll ramp up your female hormones. And then for men, we have the Xeratest, XERA test, TEST. Okay, it'll ramp up your equipment to make more testosterone. Okay, you don't want little boys with all the equipment, little boys saying, well, I'm a girl.
Well,
Okay.
they can claim to be a cat these days.
And are you having that trouble there in Australia?
Oh, absolutely. Look, kids can go to school and leave home and say that they're a girl, and get to school and say they're a cat. And the teacher's got to have a kitty litter in the room for them to go to the toilet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is
And
because
they have the education department here is just worse
this
than
is
the
because
government.
they weren't getting the right advice from the doctors. They should have been taking more of the raw materials to make the proper hormones for the proper sex. Now we do have the let's see here. We have the I-26, okay, which will regrow the myelin in the brain, the white matter of the brain and spinal cord, the I-26. So these kids should be taking the I-26. They like it, chewables or like candy, okay? Have them take a couple of those twice a day. And then they need, little girls need Xerafem, even though they think little boys need Xeratest, even though they think they're a little girl. And then make sure they're getting their I-26 to rebuild the white matter in their brain and spinal cord so they can correct all this bad thinking up here. And we can save some of them. Now, there will be some of them that doesn't work. Now, this goes back thousands of years ago. It used to happen in herds of cattle and goats and sheep thousands of years ago that a female cow who thought she was a bull would try to breed all the other cows. They would just kill that cow because she's disturbing the herd and the cows didn't want to get milk.
Yeah.
So the farmers would kill that cow and cook her and eat her. Same thing with bulls. All the bulls thought they were girls. And so some of the bulls are trying to breed the bulls who thought they were girls, and they would kill the bulls that thought they were girls and cook them and eat them. That was thousands of years ago. So this is not a new problem. This is not a new problem. Back thousands of years ago, 200,000 years ago, 300,000 years ago, up until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, we know the exact moment when it happened. Up until that point, everybody was using wood and coal as fuel, right?
Yes.
And what was a byproduct of using wood and coal as fuel? Wood ashes, coal
The mineral,
ashes.
yeah, the wood ash.
Had the minerals. Yeah, they had the minerals in the wood ashes and okay, they had the minerals in there. So they're putting them in their gardens, they're putting them in their food. But once they went to once they got rid of the wood and coal and just went to electricity, suddenly now there was no more source of minerals. And that's when everything started falling apart. And that's when they had to get the insurance so that people could pay the doctors. Doctors came up with the idea of health insurance so that people could buy it. And they went to the insurance company and said, come up with a health insurance so people can pay because it's going to be expensive for the patient. Okay. So they came up with a health insurance. Okay. Because they didn't have the vitamins and minerals anymore because they didn't have wood and coal. Now, we don't have the need. Now, I'm going to repeat that. Now, listen up here. This is important. We don't have the need for health insurance for pet animals, like dogs and cats and horses and cows and sheep and pigs and goats. Why? Because they get all the minerals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about it over in the States, but there are actually have brought out now health insurance for your domestic animals, cats and dogs and stuff.
Is everybody buying it?
No.
No, just the rich people.
Yeah, just rich people. But I can't believe I go, kidding me.
What do they charge you? $50 a month or something like that?
I don't know. I don't have it.
Yeah. So it's starting to come there in Australia. Well,
oh yes, it's
not necessary if they were to give all the bodies. That's why we have the Arthrodex. And on the label it says how much to give per pound of body weight, or per 10 pounds of body weight, whatever it is. And the Arthrodex will prevent the need for all those health insurance issues, because the Arthrodex gives the dogs and the cats and the rabbits and the rats and the guinea pigs all the nutrients they need, and the pet pet chickens, pet pigeons, okay, pet birds of all kinds, parrots. They get the Arthrodex. It tells you in the label how much to give the birds, and you don't need health insurance for your pets or your farm animals anymore, because we can prevent all these diseases by giving them the nutrition in the supplement program through the Arthrodex.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Unless they've sort of been attacked, we actually have quite a few animals here being attacked by foxes and wild dogs. And actually, I had a lady contact me just recently, and her pet goat, was ripped apart by wild dogs and waiting operation. And she asked, what could we do to help her fight, build her immune system so she can survive the surgery, because she's got an open wound from being mauled by a dog.
How about her or goats?
The goat.
Oh, well, the thing she needs to do is get about a half a dozen big bull mastiffs to be guards for her goats. So the
Maremma's a good guard dogs for goats, I hear.
Yeah.
Anyway, I did suggest maybe getting something, because she had some plant-derived minerals, to at least have some of, get that in the goat.
Plant-derived minerals. And of course, I take an ounce of the plant-derived minerals twice a day, in addition to all my other stuff. So I'm getting, 95 minerals twice a day, organic minerals from the plants. And I'm 85.
But if we don't have the anthrax, we can actually give it to our animals as well, for the same reasons we give it to ourselves, to help heal and as well as look after ourselves. Correct?
You need to give the 90 essential nutrients plus the extra minerals.
Whether it's a goat, a bird, or a person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of birds, I also had a lady who has birds, finches. Oh, I think they're finches, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. And one of them died, so she had an autopsy done. It was just very sudden, and the vet told her that the bird had a type of TB, tuberculosis. Can't get my tongue right now.
TB, tuberculosis.
Yes, and she wanted to know what she could do to prevent her other birds getting it. And
okay, need
she's
all the
put
minerals,
the plant-derived minerals in their water, so that's helping.
Yeah, that'll help. Okay, and you have to keep stray dogs and cats and birds away.
Well, she lives out on property. So
hang on a second. Let me grab this. Hey, Tom, I'm on the phone with a Zoom in Australia. I'll call you as soon as it's over. Yeah, I just want to let him know I wouldn't forget him.
That's my friend Tom Chenault, was it?
Yep, that was Tom Chenault. I should have said, hey, say hello.
You should have done. He would have taken over the conversation.
That's fine. Yeah, Tom is great. He's a great warrior, and he has so many projects going on, helping so many people all over the world. He's quite a great guy.
He is at that. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, like it's like, and then speaking of tuberculosis, I mean that's um when
Tuberculosis is a bacterial disease. Okay.
yes, I mean if it's coming back into to animals, you know, it's probably rife in people as well. What can we do to help people and animals, because you do the same thing, and I imagine just on a different scale, to prevent tuberculosis
Well,
or to recover from it?
okay. What you have to do is check and see what they're giving domestic animals in that area, you know, like cattle and goats and pigs and um, lambs and things like that. What are they giving them to prevent tuberculosis? Get that same stuff that they're giving farm animals to prevent tuberculosis. You can give it to your pets.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they are. I don't know. Is
I
it,
guarantee you, I guarantee you, there's drugs to prevent tuberculosis in animals.
so it, well, I'm guessing that the 90 essential nutrients and
Yeah,
in animals, given the Arthrex,
of
would.
course, keep your immune system up, but it'll be worth a phone call to find out. You know, call the veterinary school. That's what I would do. I'd call the veterinary school and say, you know, what
Yeah.
do you use to prevent tuberculosis in farm animals? Find out
Yeah.
what they're doing,
That's
because
it. That's a good. That's a good point.
farm animals would impact not only other animals but also people. So it's one of those things where they really have to watch it. And so
Yeah.
I'm sure they I know they test them every year. They test them every year to see they have tuberculosis. They have tuberculosis and advanced tuberculosis. I know some of them they kill, some of them they put in kind of a camp and they give them antibiotics. So you find out what they do. Okay.
Okay, that sounds like a good plan for that lady. Um, so Doc, before we came on, I know we've sort of kind of, this is all kind of like spring cleaning, because you know you got to get rid of these things. You've got to take care of your body to prevent all these things happening. And but I'm going back now to a lot. Like I said, a lot of people are struggling with RSV at the moment. So you know, keeping up the 90 is good for that. And to reverse it, certainly I would double it. Would you think?
What do they have?
Respiratory viruses,
Okay, so
RSV,
they're getting lung
respiratory.
lung
Yeah,
issues, respiratory issues, infections. Yeah.
yes,
Okay. Here's where the colloidal silver comes in. You have colloidal silver there?
we do.
There you go. It's 2 droppers full under the tongue, one on the right side, one on the left side. 10, 15 minutes before breakfast, 10, 15 minutes for lunch, 10, 15 minutes for dinner time, and 10, 15 minutes for bedtime. I've been doing this for 40 years. This has been around as a killer to get rid of plagues for over 400 years. Now, colloidal silver kills all bacteria, all viruses, all fungus, all yeast. Penicillin only kills 2 bacteria.
Mm.
Penicillin only kills 2 bacteria. Colloidal silver kills them all. Now, this colloidal silver doesn't have any alcohol in it. You can drop it in your eyes. You can drop it in an open wound. It won't burn. Tastes like water, looks like water, smells like water, but it's got the colloidal silver in there. Okay. This is really one of our miracle drugs. Okay. Remember, it got rid of plagues. It got rid of plagues 400 years ago. That's why it became used by everybody, because somebody had left some silver pellets in a bottle of water for some time, and they got the um, plague viruses in their house, and they got them to drink in that water that had the silver nuggets in there, and in a week their plague went away. So they started giving it to other people the plague, and their plague went away. And they give it to other people the plague, and the plague went away. And so that's how they learned about colloidal silver and getting rid of the plague, because they were just people getting dehydrated with diarrhea and throwing up and sweating. And they were just giving them the colloidal silver just to kind of try and quiet things down. And guess what? It killed the bug.
Yeah, well, and oh,
There
My
you go.
brain just went dead.
What else can you say?
Exactly right. Prevention's always better than the cure, isn't it? I, I had this brilliant thought and it just completely left my brain. Haven't had snapped it today yet. But anyway, um, that's what I was going to say. The colloidal silver needs to be quality. You can't just grab any silver. Would that be correct?
Yeah, well, this is medical grade. This is high quality medical grade. Okay, this is not just something we've taken out of a barrel in the backyard. Okay, this is what they use in hospitals. Okay, this is what they use in hospitals, and so we have a whole line of colloidal silver for our members and
Mm.
their customers. Okay, and their relatives. We sell a lot of this colloidal silver all over the world. Okay, because nobody has the quality we've got, which we sell it very economically. We don't charge you like a doctor will charge you a visit and then charge you for the colloidal silver. We just charge you for the colloidal silver. We don't charge you for the visit.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. We did. That's a big difference. Okay, so I was meant talking to you before we started recording about this lady. Now, she was induced because her placenta had died. So that's 5 weeks ago now. So the baby's now 5 weeks old. The baby's
Okay, I
fine.
missed that. What has died?
The placenta, the thing that the baby's attached to inside the mama's womb, right?
Okay,
So they
the placenta died, but the baby was born alive.
yes,
Oh,
they induced the mum because the placenta had died. So the baby's now 5 weeks old, and they visited a family member in a retirement home just recently, and the baby girl came out with RSV and then went into hospital. So the respiratory thing, and
yeah.
the
Well,
mum is over.
the baby can have the colloidal silver. If they're nervous
Okay.
about squirting it in the baby's mouth, you just rub the colloidal silver in the baby's belly, and the baby will absorb it through the belly. But it's safe for babies. Okay.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, even a pregnant mom can have colloidal silver. It's not going to harm the baby in the embryo.
Oh, that's wonderful. Anyway, so the mum is overweight herself, and she has had thyroid issues since she was 16, but doesn't take any medication. And she doesn't like the idea of even taking aspirin, any
Okay.
pharmaceutical thing.
Okay, let's stop there for a minute. You say she's got a thyroid issue, right?
Yeah, apparently she's had it since she was 16.
Wow. Hey, do you have sweeties over there?
We do. We have sweeties.
You have sweeties. You have Ocean's Gold.
We do when it's in stock.
Okay.
It just literally went out of stock. So we're waiting for the ship to arrive.
Okay. And so, yeah. And so between the sweeties and Ocean's Gold and the 90 essential nutrients, the this is where thyroid problems go away. Um, it's, what should I say? It's simple to get rid of these problems.
Yeah. So,
Diabetes goes away. Okay.
wow. Yeah, that's an easy fix.
It's an easy fix.
And it will help her. It doesn't help that she's overweight as well. So these things will
And
help
you don't need a prescription from a doctor to get this from a longevity associate.
distributor.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
distributor.
right. So you
And
don't need that.
you can become a member, you'll pay wholesale prices for the product, and you can have it delivered to your house, or you can go pick it up, at your sponsor's house if they live next door or something like that. And it's one of those things where why would you not want to do this when it's used all over the world? You don't need a prescription. It doesn't burn, doesn't cause any problems, and it kills the disease, diabetes, kills the disease, thyroid problems. Okay.
Yeah. And this causes weight. It's not the only thing, but it causes weight issues and like this this mum that's had the baby is obviously still struggling with weight issues, and all these things that you're doing to help the thyroid and the sweeties and everything, and taking the 90, it's
Take the
amazing.
90, take the 90 and then take the um, Ocean's Gold for the thyroid. Okay, and the sweeties for diabetes.
Cordial silver for RSV.
And the colloidal silver for any infections.
Yes, and it's amazing how just doing that and getting rid of all the bad foods, because that's the key, how suddenly you're not craving all these things that actually put the weight on, and the weight will fall off naturally without going on some crazy diet. The liver detox is good for that too. So, and amazingly enough, and I know how to answer this for this person, but I also had this lady was talking about a friend of hers who's a male, a postie. Yeah, so someone who delivers the post, has RSV. See, I've had, I don't know, 5 or 6 people with RSV, but also has osteoporosis.
Okay, well, for osteoporosis, they need to add, we have vitamin D3. They can take our vitamin D3. Now, that's along with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack and all the other stuff, right? That needs vitamin D3. Take a couple of those twice a day. Also needs our OsteoFX and our Cal Toddy. Okay, an ounce of each twice a day for an adult. Even a teenager that weighs 120, 130 pounds or more. Okay, and the osteoporosis goes away. Osteoporosis is not a genetic thing. It's not an old age thing. It's a nutritional deficiency thing. Got to get rid of the bad foods so you can absorb this stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even that one's got to go. And for energy, you can't use, the colas and all that kind of stuff. And so which one to use is our Rebound. Okay, there's no carbonation in it. But this was actually made for professional athletes. We have 30 of these in a box, 30 of these sticks in a box. You cut the corner of it off and pour it in your bottle of water, shake it up real good. And let's see here. Yeah, this is mine. I'm about half full. Half done with my second bottle today. Okay. And I've got about a half left. So after this program, I'll just shoot this all down. So I take 2 of these per day, one in the morning and one before 3 o'clock my time. Okay. If you take it after 5 or 6 o'clock, you'll be up all night. It gives you so much energy.
Unless like you're like my husband who does night shift and you need something to keep you awake all night. he loves the Rebound, although he calls it Roundup. I said, babe,
That's
you'll
close.
hey, the Roundup is a poison here that people use in their gardens to kill the weeds and stuff. But
This is
anyway,
Rebound. It's
I know. Anyway, it's a bit of a running joke we have here because he called it the wrong thing the first time because he couldn't remember the name of it, so he just keeps doing that. Oh, and then I find another good way to help people clean up their diet and clean up their body, particularly because I have a lot of people say to me, "Oh, I couldn't give up those, bad foods. They struggle with it." And I find I personally have found if I can get them to do our Dr. Lewis's liver detoxing program, because in their program it has a list of foods that they can eat during that, it helps them to regulate and helps them to actually get rid of the bad foods, and then suddenly they find I have every single person has come back and said, "Oh, I could eat like this all the time." I said, "You should." So it's amazing, and these are people who have for decades been eating cakes and everything full of sugar, everything bad and lots of gluten.
Cakes are gluten and sugar and all the bad stuff, right?
All full of flour and
gluten,
donuts and lollies and
your liver does a lot of work. It's not a biochemical work. Okay, it's not physical work, it's biochemical work. And so it helps you use the vitamins and minerals you get in your food. It stores some for future use. It also helps get rid of poisons and bad stuff in your diet and in the environment and your drinking water. So it helps protect you against some of that stuff. And so you really have to take good care of your liver. And this is part of the 90 essential nutrients, is built to give the liver what it needs and give your kidneys what it needs, give your heart what it needs. The brain and spinal cord will get most of what it needs, but also you need to throw in the I-26 along with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack for the brain and the spinal cord also.
Yeah. So all these things are good for spring cleaning the body and making us all much healthier.
10,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, you didn't have to do this if you lived in the land flowing with milk and honey, because you're getting all these minerals coming down from the mountains and the streams, and you're putting them in the gardens, and you're using it for cooking, and you're getting all these minerals from all these different directions because you're living in the land flowing with milk and honey. And that's why the people live to be 120, 130, 150, 200, and so forth, because they're getting all these minerals. Now, they didn't know what that was back then. They didn't have the ability to analyze anything, but they knew it was true over and over and over for thousands of years. And so that's why it's one of the interesting things that's listed in the Old Testament, the Old Bible, is the land flowing with milk and honey. So you can ask anybody in the street, have you ever heard of land flowing with milk and honey? Oh, yeah, it's a Bible thing. Have you ever heard of land flowing with milk and honey? Yeah, that's where all those people lived a long time because of a Bible thing. Okay, well, that's because they live just like right now. Okay, again, the Pakistanis, they live, the Hunzas, these little tribes that live in the Himalayan mountains, in the foothills of Pakistan, and they're the ones that live the longest. Of all the cultures on Earth, their average life expectancy is 120. Many live to be 130, 140, 150, okay, because they're getting all these minerals from the land flowing with milk and honey.
And they probably aren't inundated either with all the technology that we have out here today and all the.
That's right. They're probably not drinking too many colas. Yeah, they're probably not drinking too many colas up in the mountains there.
No, that's true. It's true. Oh, Doc. Well, listen, I thank you for your time today. I will let you have an early night. It's been a good chat and good.
Yeah, well, and we're a family, and always good to talk with you and share subjects of interest. And we'll always keep informing you of what's going on. But keep the information flowing to your community, to your family, your business associates, your church, your neighbors, your workmates, and you will be regarded as an angel of God, which you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So as I ask you all nicely here in Bronie's world, to stay safe, stay informed, be empowered, but do not live in fear, my friends. And when you're spring cleaning your body and you're giving it what it needs, all those 90 essential nutrients plus some to help you, the I-26 included, then you too will be powerful, beautiful, brilliant, and most definitely very brave. God bless you all. Catch you again tomorrow here in Bronie's world. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.